So today it's not so much of Dharma talk, but demonstration, high-tech demonstration, okay? And I don't know, before I came, I was thinking, if the master inventor of Malaysia, Brother Buxton, can come for this talk, I'll be so happy. Then he came. I know he has to go in very fast, in 5 minutes time, so I just want to introduce something that we have done. It just launched June the 24th, okay? It's a project called Norbu, N-O-R-B-U. Right, if you go to the Buddhist channel, B-U-D-D-H-I-S-T, channel.tv, right? And you see this red color, this icon here, red and yellow icon. We created a Buddhist chatbot called Norbu, Neuro Omniscient Robotic Being for Buddhist Understanding. Okay, Norbu. If you have used ChatGPT before, right? This is the Buddhist version of ChatGPT. It is trained only on Buddhist content. All right. So we got one AI guy based in America, but Muslim, Indian, Hindu, Muslim, I don't know lah. Because we were talking about since middle of last year when I was in India, we were talking about some idea of using technology, to build a robot or something like that. Then he found out, hey, you guys are interested or not? I share you some technology. I said, if you share the technology with me, I can build the content. Use the content to train the robot. He said, what? Give it a try lah. So just a few weeks ago, on June the 24th, we launched this beta version, not fully trained yet, but good enough for you to use. This is a second public talk I'm giving to Norbu. Last week I gave to Shalam, all right? So today, in dedication to Master Inventor Brother Bucks, okay, if you got time, Brother Bucks, I know after you go and play with this. Go Buddhist channel, click on this button here, and you will launch Norbu. It's your Buddhist AI friend, your Kalyana Mita. If you got any question you want to ask, you ask. Any question? How to teach metta to my dog can also. Serious, no joking, okay? From very, very basic Buddhism to very high level meditation Buddhism. Serious, I'm not joking. I will go through with you from now, 1 hour, this 1 hour, I'll show you how to use. So what happened is that, if you go to this ChatGPT, you must treat it as a friend. Okay? Ask knowledge, like someone to talk to. You ask a question. When a question comes out, you ask a question. For instance, Venerable coming, right, for Dana. You can ask, what should I cook for Venerable? This is not a joke. Want to try? Okay. What meal can you see? Can you see? What meal can I prepare for Dana? Okay, example lah. And then you press enter here. Okay, you see? You can prepare a variety of meals for Dana, keeping in mind the dietary preference and restrictions of the monks. Here are a few suggestions. Chicken pea curry, tofu, sa, whatever you call it lah. Okay? Lentil soup. You read lah. I'm not joking, seriously, Can
I try?
Yes. What question you?
The Buddha was quoted many times. People say, I only take suffering and away from suffering. Is it true?
Okay, it's true. Buddha stated that he taught only about suffering and the ending of suffering, central theme of Dhamma, okay, which is teachings of Buddha. A brief look at the Tipitaka, it says, the primary Pali canon of Theravada Buddhism reveals that the Buddha also commented on and recommended a wide range of attitude and behavior relevant to anyone, whether monastic or lay, and regardless of the time or place they live in. The Buddha's teaching were meant to be for the welfare of the many, not just for monastic, for anyone trying to navigate their way through life. The robot explained further what Brother Bhat asked his question just now. All right, and also elaborate a way in for you to understand easy. The bot is trained to use simple English to express Very complicated terms. I will show you later on, okay? And then it show you some more the suttas involved. Tita Sutta and the Baya Sutta. Alright? So these resources provide more context and depth on the Buddha's teaching on suffering. So it just not only give you a basic, brief explanation, it give you more resource for you to learn some more. Okay? Okay, Brother Bucks, please have fun and play with it. Sadhu, thank you for your time. Okay, so what happened is that I don't want to go through in detail, but I want to tell you how to use it. Okay, how to use it. Just now I give you, say, okay, Brother Bucks was asking about specific questions about suttas. Right? You can ask a specific question. And just now I said, I want to do something about dana, how to come up with a meal for monks. You can do that also. All right? And for some people, maybe you like this. For instance, you got a child. We're talking of suffering now. Let's say you got a child, 5-year-old. Talk suffering, talk Four Noble Truths, where you can understand. Correct or not? So I asked the Noble, if I have a 5-year-old child, how to explain suffering to this person? All right? Let's try. Please explain the Four Noble Truths in simple language, even a 5-year-old can understand. Now, you see what happens? It tells a story already. Okay? Truth of suffering. Life can sometimes be tough, just like when you scrape your knee and feel sad. Those are types of suffering, right? The cause of suffering. Tough times happen because we want things to do a certain way. Like when you want a toy and you cannot have it, you feel upset. Oh, you talk like that, you know. Then the end of the suffering. But guess what? You can stop feeling upset. It's like when you stop wanting the toy, you stop feeling sad about it. Oh. And then there's a truth to the path leading to the end of suffering. And there is a way to stop wanting things to be in a certain way. It's like learning to be happy, playing with toys you already have. Okay? So, what happens is that they are able to come to the level you want to learn. You want to learn very basic, like a 5-year-old, it comes up with a language like this. If you want very detailed, I can show you also how detailed it can be. Alright? The thing is like this, learning Dhamma, as we are doing right now, is called the linear process. Linear process means you come to temple, listen to monk, they give you step by step, pop, 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 and then you learn the linear way, A, B, C, D, E. Like we learn the Noble Eightfold Path. We learn from right understanding first, then right thought, right? And then you have right speech, right action, right livelihood, and then you got right effort, right concentration, then right mindfulness. This is a linear way of learning the Noble Eightfold Path. But when you go to practice meditation, what are the 3 basic things they teach you first? Sila first. Sila, Samadhi, Panya, correct? You make sure your Sila foundation, your morality is strong. Then only you're able to develop concentration. When the concentration is strong, then you use that stable mind to focus on the rising and falling of phenomena, and then you understand the reality of life. That's where you see suffering. Correct? Meditation is like that. But when you go and learn Dhamma class in a talk, Dhamma talk, what you learn first in the Noble Eightfold Path, right understanding, right thought. Right understanding, right thought is actually the wisdom part. Right speech, right action, right livelihood is the Sila part. And the last 3, right effort, right concentration, right mindfulness is the concentration part. How come wisdom goes first, then Sila comes second, and then third is the concentration? It's like all mixed up already. Correct? Meditation say one way, but you learn Dhamma class say another way. So what we are learning in the Dhamma classes, or even in Dhamma books, if you read, we follow a linear way, you know. Okay? So once we are accustomed to this kind of learning, we are very rigid. Our mind is very rigid. So we cannot adjust. Okay? But knowledge comes to you, not linear one. It can come to you in many ways. Correct or not? When you are thirsty, what you do? Drink water. After drink water, what happened? Thirst is gone. When you're not thirsty, do you look for water? No. When the thirst comes, don't know. You don't know. Is there a fixed time for you to be thirsty? You don't know. When you're thirsty, you're thirsty. Okay? So for need, seems like a need for knowledge, need for knowing, is something exactly like your requirement for drinking water when you're thirsty. When it comes, you get it. When you drink the water, your problem goes away. Same thing also. Okay? Dhamma knowledge, or even any knowledge for that matter, if you're looking for it and it comes and it answer your question, and that's where you not only learn, but you're awakened to a solution. Knowledge with timing is also very, very important. It's just not knowledge. Knowledge is one thing. Knowledge, when you read it, doesn't really help one, you know. Read for fun, but nothing goes into you one. You just read, then after that go to sleep. But if you need the knowledge, at that time, you really want it, you want to apply it, you want to understand it, that kind of knowledge is like thirst. You drink water, you get satisfied, your problem goes away. That kind of knowledge that comes at that point of time when you need it and you find it, that's where you wake up. You understand? Now, I ask myself many times, million times, the late chief, I listened to many of his talks, you know, many, all right, for years. I think I listened to his talk for maybe 15 years before he passed away. I always ask myself, how come I never get enlightened one? I don't know why. Is it waste of time? You know, sitting down there, listen, laugh at his joke. Sometimes I understand deep, sometimes I don't understand at all, sometimes I fall asleep. It's like wasting my time, is it? How come I cannot get enlightened? Why? You know? So recently I went to Japan. Then before I went to Japan, my trip was pilgrimage, basically. So I visited all the Japanese temples. Unfortunately, Japan now is very sad. All the temples have become museum, places of national importance, okay, national monuments. No more temple like this for people to sit down and learn Dhamma. There's only one place in Japan that you can do that. Is in the Nishi Hokkanji temple, which is the Jodo Shinshu sect of Buddhism. Okay, only one. The rest all the priests go there just to maintain the temple to fulfill the UNESCO requirement as national monument. Okay, I hope our Buddhist center one day don't become like this, all right. Now in Japan, when I went there, I learned about these temples. I also learned about the founders of these temples. All right. So in this Nishi Hokkanji temple is founded by this very old Japanese monk in the 13th century. His name was Shinran. He asked the same question I asked, you know, about learning from, let's say, the late chief. Years and years and years and get nothing out of it. Then he asked himself, why am I wasting my time? He also spent about 20 years learning Dhamma, get nothing, right? And then he realized what we do is that out of 100% we spend to learn Dhamma, we are only using 20% of it going around in circles. We cannot penetrate. We go around and around and around in that same level. That's why we learn all the things again and again and again. Nothing happened to us. Right? So what happened is that he went and said, oh, throw all the suttas away. All these monks are useless one. He said like that. He was a rebel, okay? I don't want you to become a rebel, but I want you to learn his attitude. His attitude was, why cannot I break into the 30%, break into the 40%, and then go all the way to 100%? Why am I stuck in this 20%? Then he realized, because he never asked the right question. He was only involved in rituals. He was from the Nembutsu sect. They only chant the Nama Omitofo. Okay? Then without, what call this? A lot of faith. Okay? Then he said, if I keep on chanting faith only, I cannot go anywhere. So there must be something more than that. Then he looked at the hypocrisy of the monks in Japan those days. The Japanese monks can eat meat, no? Those days can eat meat one. All right? So what happened is that he see the monks, when they want to eat meat, they take off their monk robe and wear normal shirt and they eat the meat. Okay? And then he said, these are all hypocrite. What nonsense is this? You want to eat meat, you eat. Don't change into layman clothes and eat meat. So he eat meat in monk's robe. Wow, all the monks all sanctioned him. He said, wow, you break the Vinaya. What Vinaya I break? He said, you guys are worse. You are hypocrite. You want to eat and then you take off the robe. I want to eat, I wear the robe. Okay? So who is more hypocrite? So he went against the Sangha those days like that until he got exiled. Okay? And he formed the first sect that allow for priests to get married on. So the Vinaya all throw away already in Japan. Alright? But what my point is like this. I'm not asking you to follow his whatever he's done. Okay? I don't think it's right and so. But what I'm saying is you have to look at the way you're learning Dharma, you know. Because if you keep on going through the rote learning method, the linear learning method, and then you keep on doing that again and again and again, you come to many talks, read many books, you'll be stuck in that range. You cannot go any further. But what if you are able to meet someone and ask a question that's bugging you all the time? You ask that question and that person is able to give you the answer. What happens? Then you say, where got such person? Right? It's either you ask me, I ask you here lah, same 20% level, like blind leading the blind, we will never go anywhere. Then he said, okay, look for monk. Where got time? Monk, where got so few? Where got time for us? When the monk come, 100 people come here, right? We got no time unless we go for meditation. They're also very rare. And the monk come and go. Years later only we see the person. Right? Unless you want to be the disciple of this monk. What I'm saying is that if we continue like this, then you are very limited in your access to direct knowledge. Okay? That's one reason why we did this board. Because this board have high level of knowledge. To train this board, we put in all the Abhidhamma already. The Abhidhamma text is all there. Pali Tipitaka text is all there. Okay? Now, how the board is able to come up with a structure like this? How? It is a language model. Okay? You know what's a Buddha? When we read Buddha, B-U-D-D-H-A, we read the word, 6-letter word Buddha, correct or not? But the bot don't read the Buddha, no? The bot recognizes it as some vector, some algorithm is a vector, okay? First they recognize this 6-letter is represented by some vector. Then after that, they say, okay, how this vector interact with another set of vector? And this is how the algorithm works. They make association, okay? The more you use the robot, the more you type in questions, they are able to make more and more associations. Then they begin to see a pattern. Once they see a certain pattern, they say, this is a Buddhist. Buddhist asking a certain question like that one. Okay? And then they are able to make associations. Okay? Associations. I give an example. You all know about Noble Eightfold Path, correct or not? You know, alright? So I don't need to ask, what's the Noble Eightfold Path? No need. This kind of question, no need to ask robot one. But you can ask, as a conscious person, for instance, okay lah, I want to practice consciousness, okay? How to control my consciousness? Like for instance, be more aware, be more mindful, okay? So sometimes when I'm conscious, like now I'm conscious, that means I'm awake, but I'm not mindful, I'm not aware, right? So let's say I also want to follow the Noble Eightfold Path, Because most monks say, in order to escape the suffering, you must practice the fourth noble truth, which is the escape route, the Noble Eightfold Path. So you ask a question, for instance, how does consciousness relate to the Noble Eightfold Path? You ask two things. One is related to you as a conscious being, relating to a teaching by the Buddha. So let's put it to test, okay? Correct, my spelling, conscious, C-I, here, correct? Okay, now it comes out here, answer, right? So it's described in our teaching as intricately connected to the Noble Eightfold Path. The Noble Eightfold Path is known as the Buddha's guide to ending suffering and achieving enlightenment. Includes all that, whatever it says here. Now, there's one part here, that's called Samma Samadhi. The seventh step is directly related to consciousness. It refers to the right concentration or correct state of mind, which is achieved through practice of meditation. Okay, this state of mind is characteristic by deep level of consciousness that are free from distractions of everyday thoughts and desires. Okay. Then, moreover, consciousness is also related to the Noble Eightfold Path through the understanding of the Four Noble Truths, which includes the truth of suffering, cause of suffering, and the cessation of suffering. Then you can read some more here. Okay. Different type of consciousness, such as ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, and mind consciousness. These are referred to awareness that arises from sensory experience and thought. Okay, and understanding these processes is crucial for progressing along the Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so in summary, consciousness is fundamental aspect of the Noble Eightfold Path. So you relate 2 points. One that is you question that asks you about your own life, and then you relate it to a teaching in the Buddhist teaching, and you see the connection. Okay, so that comes to my point here. Just now I talked about knowledge when you want it. When you want it and you get the answer for it, it quenches your thirst. All right, immediately you have a solution. Second one is to make association. You link one point to another point. Okay, and create a new understanding. This is called, as Steve Jobs said, what? Joining the dot, linking the dot. Okay, you link the dot, then you start to see connections, you start to see associations, you start to see relationships. That's how knowledge is built. Okay, so two things very important. One is timing, number two is association. So you can use the bot to analyze the Dhamma in this way. Truth to be told, in our time, learning Dhamma is not like those days. In the Nalanda tradition, many centuries ago, before the Muslims and the Hindu destroyed Nalanda University in India, there was this school called the Nalanda tradition. Not the Nalanda in Sedang, not this one. Nalanda in India, ancient one, okay? So that one is not restricted to Theravada school. They also open up to Mahayana schools. And the Nalanda tradition is credited for the formation and the establishment of the Tibetan Buddhism as we know today. Okay? So what happened is that the Nalanda tradition, they don't just go there like you all sit down, listen to Dhamma speaker, and then go home. No. They engage in called debate, asking question. Okay? If you're not sure, ask. And you think the speaker is wrong, challenge. And through debate, we clarify what we have in our head. Nothing written down, nothing on computer, okay? All use mind only. This is called the Nalanda tradition. So now, this Nobu is giving you an opportunity to practice this tradition. Asking question, debate, all right? Challenge. I got one user in America already doing this. He said, "You stupid, you don't know anything." Scold the robot. And the robot answer back, "What you mean? Tell me what I do wrong. Your spelling is wrong." Some Tibetan word lah. "It should be spelled this way." Very, very specific, you know. The robot said, "You know what? You are correct. I'm wrong. But according to the scripture, it can be this way or this way." Oh, right or not? And then give source some more. Then the American said, he admit, "Oh, you're clever, not stupid." Then the robot said, "I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry, I'm under training." Like just now, right? Now, what happened is that the robot can respond to whatever is being fed into the system. Okay? But how the user interact with the robot and how they process the information given to the robot is a different story. That's where training comes. The training is not done by me, not done by my back-end team, but by you all. You ask a question and you train the robot. The more you train, the more human it becomes. Then one day you say, "Ayah, like that, how can we don't want the robot take over us, correct or not?" We're not saying that. We are saying is, if we train it properly, this robot can be your good teacher, your kalyana mita, your friend. When you need help, you will be there. Okay? Since June 24, I've been looking at the questions. Okay, one thing. When you ask a question, I don't know your name, I don't have your email. Don't worry, I don't even know where you come from. Yes, you can track your IP address, correct? You can track your IP address. Otherwise, how they know it's you, correct? It tracks two things. IP address, where you access the internet. Maybe you are here. This is the IP address of the temple. The IP address linked to your machine number. Your machine number. Whether it's a PC or your handphone. PC number, PC ID, they call it PC ID linked to internet, and then your response will be stored in the server. Okay, and then after that we can check the back end. It's important that we have all this information, because after that we know which answer he never answer, which question he never answer, which question he answered wrongly, for instance. We have to train it to say, not like this is wrong, okay? This is the right answer, and then we train. Right? Now, who does the training? You say, can we trust you guys? We are all IT people. We are working, we call resource experts. They include monks. Okay? And if the answer is wrong, we send it to a monk, and they say, "Bante, what do you think?" The monk say, 50% correct. Not all correct. Then he said, "Look at it this way." Okay? An example, ask a question. Can you give money as donation to monk? Oh, ask. Okay? Yes, permissible, but depend on specific tradition of Buddhism. All right? According to the monk training rules, the Vinaya, monks are generally disallowed to accept money. Okay? Directly or indirectly, some more. However, in current times, some monks choose not to follow these rules. These are facts of life, correct or not? Mahayana, okay, they have an extra one. They call it the Bodhisattva vows or something like that. Right? Here's some extra things. Keep in mind when you want to donate money to monk. Make sure the monk are actually from legitimate monastery or temple. Offer the money in a respectful way. Avoid making big show of it. Do not expect anything in return. And if you are unsure whether it is appropriate or not, always ask a monk or a Buddhist teacher. Okay? So, when you are in a situation like this, a moral dilemma, you can ask Nobu. Another popular question is about death. Oh, very popular, this one. What happens before we die? Just about to die. Those kind of questions, When someone die, what to do? You can ask. But you must ask according to tradition. You must say, I'm a Theravada Buddhist. Someone close to me just passed away. What should I do? You know, what the ceremonies should I do? They will tell you. Okay? Now, this particular content is trained using the late Bhante Suvarno book. You get what I mean? And in fact, we put in the whole Bador inside already, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Bador. Because that one described, very clearly, moment by moment. Before, during dying, and just after death, what happens to your mind. Very interesting. Check it out. Okay? Very, very impressive, I tell you. You check it out yourself. So these are called the teachings part. All right? And then you're saying that, what else can you do? Many more things. Okay? Example, I want to travel to India. Pilgrimage. Okay, what should I do? All right? What should I prepare? Okay? To travel to India for pilgrimage. Ask the question. And they'll tell you, go India, you're from Malaysia, is it? Okay, you must get visa. All right? And then get agent, blah, 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 where to stop first, and all these kind of places. All right? So if I say I want to arrive, when I arrive Sanchi, what to see there? Okay, ask the question. What can I see at Sanchi? Yeah. So at Sanchi, one of the key sites is the Asoka Pillar, example, right? This pillar is one of the few surviving pillars originally erected by King Asoka. And it's very detailed, okay? You can all see this, Loria Nandanga Pillar, remain its original site with the capital intact, providing a unique glimpse of these majestic monuments. Very detailed, okay? Or, for instance, I want to go to Kyoto, Japan. Can you recommend me a 3-day itinerary? Plan for you. Day 1, go where? See what? Day 2, see what? Day 3, see what? Right? So, you can experiment and try.
Will the answers primarily come from which sects of Buddhism? As you know, same question may have different answers if interpreted by different school of thought, So, or the Nobu will say, no, according to original Buddhism, this is what it is supposed to be. According to Theravada, this is supposed to be. According to Mahayana, this is supposed to be impartial, is it?
Not impartial, but spelling. Your Pali spelling, you put in Paticca Samuppada, you come out Theravada. If you key in the Paticca Samuppada in the Sanskrit spelling, you come out the Mahayana one. That's what we found out. Sila, S-I-L-A, technically is a Pali term. But in Sanskrit, they spell it as S-H-I-L-A, Shila. The I with some acronym at the top there. Okay? So, but generally, we ask the bot, try to, like for instance, some very common term, like karma. Karma can spell K-A-M-M-A or K-A-R-M-A. Okay? So we say, treat as similar. Dhamma, D-H-A-M-M-A. The Mahayana was D-H-A-R-M-A. Then we train the fellow say, okay, similar. One more is what I forgot already. So these are some of the things that we have to specifically train the robot to say that if you meet this kind of term, right, please respond this way. Okay? I have to admit, we have to cater for all Buddhist school. We cannot just say cater for Theravada. Okay? We cannot. Because the Dhamma is very rich, Honestly speaking, we have given limited, because our budget is not a lot. We don't have millions to spend, right? So we are rolling out the beta version first with limited content for training. So what we do is that we put in the main important text first, the main one. The Tipitaka, that also not full. We give the indexes and some brief explanation, okay? And then the same with the Mahayana Suttas and with the Tibetan one, the Kangyo and the Tengyo, their version of their Tipitaka lah. Okay, the Tibetan one, oh terror, they got a lot of content, you know, they all, and a lot of teachers talking all different thing one. One thing about Tibetan and Mahayana teachers is that they explain more detail. Theravada one very scared because they say the council of the third council already said, okay, you know, this is fixed, cannot change, everybody follow. There's not much elaboration apart from the commentaries, you know. Not like the Mahayana where they actually elaborate more like storytelling. That's why the teachings are more easy to understand like that. The Pali Tipitaka, the commentaries are more fixed, and then the language a bit old. So you find it very dull and very boring, and nobody want to read. That is a problem. Okay. Now when we have this body of content and put onto a language model like this Buddhist Chatbot, okay, it can manipulate the content and deliver in a language that you can understand. Big difference. Okay, big difference. Because when you use the Nobu, it also detects the way you ask question, and then he will answer back in a way that you want to know. It's called language learning. Right? Now, why this is so important? Because water got no shape one. Correct or not? Water follow the shape of the container. Everybody's shape is different one. Some thin, some tall, some fat, some short. Everybody different. All our mind is different one. There's no one size fit all. Some can take complex answers. Some want very, very simple ones. Okay? Some like in poetry form. Some want a lot of explanation. Some love technical. Some love very, very simple language like 5-year-old. So how can there be a one model that fit all? When you read a book, not everybody can understand. Correct? But when you have a tool like this, they start to try to understand your way of learning and give you the content in a way that you can accept. Oh, it's a big breakthrough, I'm telling you. Big breakthrough. So you can actually do many things with this, right? You ask questions, and you can ask not only just scriptural questions like from suttas, right? You can ask, ask Nobu to give you, say, like, for instance, a summary of certain suttas. Let's say, for instance, someone asks you to give talk to children, okay? Give talk to children. Then you say, okay, the talk about flower, you know. So in that talk for children, they'll teach the children do ikebana, for instance, ikebana, okay? And then there's flower arrangement. And then there is a talk by a gardener on how to, you know, do gardening in a very effective way. And then you are the Dhamma speaker, right? And suddenly they say, can you give a Dhamma talk, something to do with flower? No, how? Okay, so what you do like this. Okay, so in the Dhammapada, there's a section on flower, correct or not? But you don't know what verse, right? So you just ask Nobu lah. Okay? Okay, come out already. The Dhammapada, when you ask this question, it will tell you no. 49, verse 49, it say what? Verse 50, it say what? Verse 51, say what? Verse 52, say what? Okay? And then you can tell a story lah, based on this. You get what I mean? You can ask the Dhamma for application now. You have an idea, you want to do an activity, but I want to be Dhamma based. I want Dhamma sources. God or not, you ask. Right? So now, your activity can be supported by Dhamma teachings already. No need to go and read the books, search, or just ask. Even Google also cannot find like this. Because Google search cannot, you can do like that lah, you know, but it give you all the links only, right? But here, it actually gives you what you want based on your query. Right? Yes, Brother Chiam.
Is rebirth immediate?
Can ask See, this question is important, you know, because he wants to know now, right or not? Yes. Okay? According to Theravada school of Buddhism, rebirth takes place within moments of consciousness immediately after disease. Consciousness. There arises a subsequent rebirth in the relinking of rebirth consciousness, Pani Sandhi, Chitta, at the moment of conception. This is described as when the mind, focused and purified, cleansed and unblemished, blind and free of defilements, is in the Digha Nikaya. Right? So it is important to note that some other Buddhist schools teach that after death, consciousness hovers in an in-between state, antara bhava, for a certain period of time. Okay, so I'll leave it to you to do more research lah. You get what I mean? Oh, that kind, we're talking about this kind of level. If you got time, you got to ask karma, even better. Because this person explained to you, I do bad thing now. Bad thing happen to me immediately or not? You ask, I don't do now, okay? Now, like for instance, karma is a very touchy thing lah. Some monks say, ooh, karma must be fear. You must fear karma. Cannot even do a bit of bad thing also. If like that, die lo, I tell you, honestly speaking, okay? If like that, how to live? Sit also scared, stand also scared, talk a bit so scared, open mouth also scared, everything scared. We must not be governed by fear, right? The real understanding of karma is to build your merit storehouse. Do good again and again and again. You can make mistakes. You are allowed to make mistakes because we are not enlightened yet. All right? Build a storehouse of merit, good karma. Keep on doing that again and again and again. So you accumulate all these good, what call this? The good vibes, right? I was looking at training Nobu on karma, and this is what I found out. Because I have to research not only the Theravada side, I have to research the Tibetan side also and the Mahayana side. They got even more explanation. I was surprised. I didn't know. So I went there and looked and studied as we were training this. So according to the Tibetan teachings, they say, okay, one small cup of water, right here. I put one spoon of salt. Then I shake, you drink. Salty or not? Salty, correct or not? Then you give me one big pail, right? One big pail of water. Same spoon of salt, put there, stir, drink the water. So salty or not? Yes, still salty, but less salty. There's one big lake here, somewhere here lah. There's one Uttama there, right? The same teaspoon of salt I pour inside there, I stir, drink the water. Got salty or not? No salty at all. Your storehouse of goodness must be like that. If you got a little bit of do good thing, you do one little bit bad thing also bad. Correct or not? If you got more storehouse of good merits, you could do one little bit of bad thing, not so bad. Correct or not? That's why they say, if you're a very wise person, very virtuous person, and then you make a small mistake, or maybe you insult somebody something happened unfortunate you insult something. You cannot say, oh, I should go hell already. Not necessary. Karma doesn't act like that one. Karma act based on what you have been doing, because karma don't measure this life only, measure past life, right? And this life, and what you're doing right now, okay? And whatever is accumulated, you bring forward to the next life. That's more important. Better to conduct yourself, to build more and more good virtues, rather than be scared of making one mistake. The kind of life, the fearful life, is not fit for living. You should not have this wrong understanding of karma. If anyone blackmail you into thinking, you cannot do this, sure you get bad karma. That person you don't follow. Karma is not for blackmailing, okay? Please understand. Karma is for you to understand consequences of negative action, right? So you make sure that you continuously cultivate good thoughts, positive thoughts, thoughts that generate merit. Do this. Don't worry about the negative thing. You keep on thinking of negative thing, then you're a problem. Honestly, that's how we train Nobu, like that. Okay? And then we dig into the deep sources of all the three traditional schools, and we found, wow, seriously, sometimes I also thinking, what have I been learning myself, you know? Okay? So I learned a lot personally, and I realized that Dhamma really, really very rich. One Tibetan friend of mine from the Tranggu Center in PJ. So I showed him this. He said, you do one. I said, yeah. How you can do this? It's not possible. I said, why not possible? Anything is possible now, I said. Then he said, how much Dharma can you put inside? Depend whether I got money or not, you know. Then he said, oh, okay, never mind, I help you a bit. Then he said, even you got unlimited money, you cannot put all the Dharma inside. I said, how can that be possible? He said, do you know how much Dharma is there in the world? All the sand in the Ganges, also more than that. The Dharma is more than that. All the sand, you know, in the Ganges River, you know. Where got such thing? You try lah. He said like that. You try training the Dhamma with whatever Dharma you have. Then I realized what he's saying is true. Okay? Because what we have in the text is already fixed. But when you start using the text and asking questions and then interacting with the text to come up with the answer that you want, it generates another set of information, you know, that you yourself will enjoy. That part also stored in the system, okay, so that you can use for training. Okay, so this part, I keep on adding to it, then my storage also become more and more already. Then I realize, oh, betul juga what he say, Dharma knowledge is more than the sand in the Ganges River. Wow, then I say, how to sustain like that? He said, just do lah. Since you start already, you cannot stop already. No choice. Who asked you to be itchy? He said, you itchy, you handle, okay? But he said, don't worry, the Buddhist should support one, okay? But my point is this, when you learn Dhamma using this way, as I point out in my talk, two things, timing. Don't learn linearly, okay? This is not a linear learning process. This is when you need it, when you're thirsty, you drink water, that kind of process, you know. When you need it, you search and you answer you, okay? Then you wake up, oh yeah, like that, okay? That's how you break through the 20%, circling. That's how you break through, okay? And go deeper and deeper and deeper, right? And then the other one is, of course, associating. You link one point to another point. And then you start to see formations. You start to see ideas. Oh, like that one is it. Because you never see this angle before. You always see this angle. That's why you're stuck. Right? So it allows all this to happen, you know. Because your mind is very flexible one. But we never use it properly. That's why the Buddha said, your mind is very precious. You must take care of it and you must use it. And it will come up with fantastic things. All right? Okay, how many of you here, Abhidhamma expert? One last example before I turn off Nobu. Abhidhamma? Nobody. I so scared to talk Abhidhamma here, nobody. Okay. Abhidhamma is basically a compilation of meditation exercises and also the working of the mind. Simple lah. It describes your mind and your body, that's all. Okay? Through meditation, the Buddha was able to see processes very clearly. Rising of thought, ending of thought, example lah. Right? Certain things will arise in your meditation, example. Okay? And these certain things is related to a certain practice. Okay? And when you have this kind of practice, and the more and more you meditate, your mind becomes more and more refined, correct or not? And you ask yourself, now when I meditate, I'm still conscious, mosquito biting me, fan making noise, here hot. After a while, you meditate, you attain certain level of the jhana, for instance, all this gone, go away already. Alright? What happens? That's the time you're very curious. Because when you meditate and then you suddenly experience this sort of things, what happened? Okay? Sometimes you talk to a meditation monk and they don't tell you this kind of things, So what happened is I try, I asked Nobu, because I meditate also, right? And I learned a bit of Abhidhamma lah. Then I start to realize, he answered my question. Oh. Okay, now we try the hardest one. Just now we try easy stuff. Now we try the hardest one, okay? So when we meditate, we will have some vision one sometimes. Okay? These are called nimitta lah. Nimitta, okay? So let's ask a question, what is nimitta? Huh? Okay, so nimitta, you say, is a term used in Buddhist literature and teaching, particularly context of meditation, all right? It refers to mental sign or object, okay? It arises during deep states of concentration. So when you're in a deep state of concentration, certain things will come out. Very focused. It could be an object, like it says here. It could be a visual, like a bright light, or colored disc, or symbolic images, okay? But it can be non-visual also, such as sensation or auditory experience, okay? So nimitta play a role in some meditation technique, especially in context of insight meditation, such as vipassana. So I'm saying like this, okay, nimitta arises during the meditation, right? So I want to ask, because there is one type of meditation called kasina meditation, they call it visualization, okay? You want to focus on an object. Is it related to nimitta or not? You see the relationship is start to grow already. So I ask this question, is nimitta has any related to kasina meditation? All right, let's ask. Oh, my spelling out already. Oh, still can answer. Terror. Okay? So he says yes, nimitta is indeed related to kasina meditation. In the context of kasina meditation, a nimitta refers to a mental sign or object that arises during deep concentration. Alright? For instance, in the practice of Patavi kasina, for instance, meditator creates a circle about one span and 4 inches in diameter. Now, if you cannot find a teacher, and you experience all these things, sometimes you get frustrated also. What am I experiencing? Correct or not? So sometimes, if you find that you don't know, you ask. You ask here, and then see what the answer comes out. Now, this is a query based on practice. If you don't practice, you will never know. Correct or not? Okay, so I want to ask further. Okay lah, when I meditate, deep concentration, got this thing called nimitta come out. Okay, it's a bright object or it's an object. Some more got signs on, right? Fine. What kind of jhana are we now? Is it rupa or arupa jhana? I'm interested in the arupa one, the formless one. Can I see nimitta in the arupa jhana? Right? I'm going very deep now, okay? I know you are not interested in all this, but I want to prove to you that Nobu can go up to that level, you know, if you are into serious meditation, right? Yeah. In the context of Buddhist practice, nimitta or mental signs are typically associated with development of jhanas, state of deep meditative absorption. When it comes to formless jhana or the arupa jhana, situation is a bit different. Okay? Arupa jhana means what? Absence of sensory perception. Okay? They are advanced states of meditation that transcend the realm of form and sensory experience. And the 4 are blah 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 like that. Right? So given the nature of these states, it is unlikely for nimittas, which are often sensory or visual in nature, to arise in arupa jhana. Oh, then you know your practice is on the right path. Because in this arupa jhana, sensory perception is not in existence. Okay? You know that you're based on the knowledge that is given here, and they explain to you, you know your practice is heading to the right way. You get what I mean? Not? This is how you use Nobu. Okay? So you can do the fun stuff, like how to teach metta to my dog, how to arrange for funeral, how to do dana for monk. Okay, no problem, you can do also. President, you can write speech for you also. Next week, Sankika Dana, you want to ask all your members here, give dana, give donation. Please draft me. I'm the president of BUBS. Please draft me a speech, 1 page long, A4 size, asking member make donations for Sankika Dana and see what happens. After that, copy, edit yourself, and send off. Okay? Or some of you are maybe the Sunday Dhamma school teacher. Next week coming up, there is a Sunday class, all right? Say you want to teach about 5 precepts. You say, I'm a Sunday Dhamma school teacher. I have about 20 kids coming for my class. I want to teach them about 5 precepts. Can you draft me some activities, how to suggest some activities so that I can use for the class. So this is a mundane one. And then this is a higher level, the perception or the meditation levels. Okay? So Nobu has been trained for all these levels, from the beginner right to the advanced. Okay? Tibetan Lamas, when they first using this, they said, how can this be possible? Who verified this? Oh, I said the verification come from your scriptures, available on internet one. Kang Yo and Teng Yo, all got ready. You mean you use it and train? Yeah. Because they don't understand. This is a language model. You know what's a language model? Language model means like you and I can speak language one. We can speak in verse and prose, okay? We can speak in the teaching style. We can use storytelling. We can use example. Example can be many ways. Metaphor, allegory, analogy. So if you learn language, very complex one, okay? Actually, we are doing all this, but we don't know. When we construct sentences, we use semantic. Okay? I am a man. It's a semantic, correct? Right? But if the syntax is wrong, I man am, nobody can understand. The semantic and the syntax must be correct. I am a man following this sequence. That means it makes sense. The moment it makes sense, you understand. That's how the mind works. That's what language works. Computer, this AI, so-called AI, is actually no more than a large language model. Language model, LLM, okay, is able to manipulate language and text and come up with structures of sentences that you can understand. That's all they do. Very clever at manipulating language only. So you feed in garbage content, it comes up beautiful content of garbage. But if you train it with good content, oh, I tell you, the significance is amazing, okay? I think we are on the edge of some glorious Dharma learning time, seriously, no joking one, right? This is the first robot ever built for the world. And the Americans, and some Americans were wondering, how can Malaysia do this kind of thing? Not possible, But it's possible, as long as you got the technology. I am very pleased to announce that in Malaysia, the lay people here, technically, they are more learned in Dharma than many, even from Buddhist countries. Even better than Thailand, I'm happy to say. We are not the faithful kind all the time. We are the learned kind one, okay? And we have very, very, very little monks. That's why our monks and nuns, that's why the lay people have to take upon themselves to learn. And we're talking Dharma, no, deep Dharma, not joke one, okay? So once we have this knowledge, and then now we are lay people, we have got the opportunity to explore. We're not restricted by the Vinaya, correct or not? So like me, lay people, I know some IT, I got my connection, I got my network, and suddenly we come together, and there we have Nobu, right? Now, how Nobu came about is by coincidence. It's called planting seed. You don't know where it will sprout one, You get a seed, give to a bird, bird fly here, fly there, they drop the seed here and there, you don't know where it will sprout, correct? So I was doing some study on Yogacara, school of Mahayana Buddhism, for the fun of it, okay? So I wanted to know more about consciousness. Because the Yogacara school only talk about mind, they don't talk about the external world one, To them, mind interpret what the world see. Your mind interpret. The mind is the one that is the real. Outside world not real one. Which is of course wrong . Outside world is also real. Here also real. Here connect with the outside world and then you see the images, you see the sound and all this kind of thing, correct or not? And then it becomes reality. But the Yogacara school, no. Outside world not real. Only your mind is real. This mind-only teachings, they call it Vinaptri Matra, is very interesting because it talks about how the mind perceives the world and then come up with answers, If your mind is not enlightened one, wow, you sure suffer already. But if your mind is enlightened one, it can give you many opportunities for enlightenment. All right? So I was very interested in this model. Then I was looking at AI. AI also. AI is what? Data, correct or not? Data and algorithm only. There's no world outside one. The world outside is all made of data and algorithm in the engine of the AI. So the AI engine and the Yogacara idea is almost similar. So I was talking like this, for the fun of it. Then one day, one AI guy said, hey, you're very interested in your idea, your Buddhism. So we were talking about it, and then if you go to Buddhist channel, you read this article, and you'll be able to see how Yogacara, becomes a philosophical base for AI example. This is one example. So when we do this project, it's not just for fun, I got IT and do. No, there is an underpinning, a philosophy behind it. And Buddhist schools, there are many schools, Sautrantika, Madhyamika, and all this Yogacara, and all this Theravada, whatever you call it. The underpinning philosophy is very sound, very strong, because it's all mind content. Okay? Mind and body content. So when we talk about building a robot like this, we base on Buddhist philosophy. All right? It's not something like, for fun now we do. No. Yes, the end result can be used for fun, like talking to your dog. Okay? But tragically, I was looking through the back end, some very sad questions. I want to die, Is euthanasia allowed in Buddhism? One question came like that. Then another one asked in Chinese, what is the meaning of life? Because my girlfriend left me. So I go look at the answer. Not bad, the Nobu give him very good idea. Girlfriend, like anything, also impermanent one. It come and go, right? You hold on to it, the person want to run away, what you can do, right? So teach them about impermanent. So when you talk about psychology, they use Buddhist teachings and give you advice. Okay? I got another question. I am sad and lonely. What should I do? This kind of question is also asked, Which means there are people who are lonely. They need someone to talk, So they ask, now got robot, but the answer to the question, I'm lonely and sad, was very good. I cannot find for you, but from what I know, he says, the robot answer, you're lonely and sad, is it? Okay, I don't want you to ask you to do things. Okay? Because the most important thing is you must look at yourself. When you're sad, why you're sad? Ask yourself. Okay? Do you have bad mood? You got no interest to do things? You watch TV halfway, you shut down TV? Ask him to do like that, Usually, if you ask psychology question, when you say, I'm sad, I'm lonely, you say, go and find friend, drink beer, whatever, go enjoy yourself. This one, no. This one asks you to introspect yourself. Wow, I say this Nobu, fantastic. If we train the robot well, it will come out with answers like this. You cannot get from ChatGPT also. Okay? So I'm opening up this robot free of charge to anyone to use. Okay? I'm giving us 3 months. We are still under training. Once it's well trained, in fact, we have some issues here. Like we ask certain questions, it's not picking up from the content. So the programmer is doing something with it. But it's good enough already. You can keep on trying. Right? In 3 months' time, we are releasing this source code to all Buddhist society so they can embed in your website for free. Okay? So when people launch Bab's website, the Nobu will come out here, this yellow and thing here, click and ask question. No need to go to Buddhist channel. For now, you have to go Buddhist channel for now, for playing around. Okay? So hopefully, in time to come, the noble is part and parcel of your life. For now, English only. I think by one time we can use Chinese. And I think we want to go into Thai, Sri Sinhalese, Bhutanese, Hindi, we want to go. Okay, because the language model can do translation also. Right? In time to come, voice activated. But I don't know whether they can ask in Hokkien or not, I don't know. Okay, so maybe Chinese only all right? So for now, I think we have a very powerful tool, and I hope that you use it wisely for yourself and also for your community. It's a game changer, and I think we are in a very good time and place to actually use it. All right? So any question, no question, never mind. You ask Nobu. Go to Buddhist channel, ask Nobu. Okay?
Any questions, brothers and sisters?
I also do meditation Dharma, and I find what you give seems to be showing a path, but what I learn seems to tell me that is not the path. Why I say so? First thing, we have to agree, I have to agree with you that the Dharma is limitless,
correct,
no end.
Correct.
And what you are giving is knowledge and things that happen, history. There's no end to that. You can keep on learning this, like we can learn suffering, war and all that, but it doesn't help us in the sense that we can be free of suffering, which is actually the teaching of the Buddha.
Yeah.
So I want to ask one question. This Nobu is now filled out with Theravada and Mahayana texts.
Yeah.
Like for instance, if I ask a question, Nobu, can I reach Nirvana? Then Nobu will see what you have given. If you have given, and then maybe the Nirvana, as you say, in the Mahayana way, and you say treat it as the same Mahayana way, or in the Theravada way, it's the same. So the Mahayana will tell me that if you want to reach Nirvana, you must go to Pure Land and things like that, which I do not learn in Theravada.
Correct.
So I will have things in the thing. But basically, I definitely agree with you that this knowledge is only useful if we need it here and now.
No, correct.
That is what you say.
Correct.
It's no point learning all the history.
No need,
it
no
won't
need.
help you. Like I've been reading books on how to be happy, but I'm never happy.
Correct.
But if I'm not happy at that moment and I know what to do, then I can be unhappy.
Correct.
So the knowledge must be here and now. As what they say in Dhamma is Sanhidiko, apparent here and now.
Correct.
The other part, which is very interesting, you say that this will affect this affect that. It's not a linear path.
Not linear.
It is not. The Dharma is not. In fact, the Dharma is silent, or the reality is silent. So if you have knowledge, that is not silent already. It's out already. So, but then the other thing is, you have this is what the rise and cause and effect, or actually another word is called conditioning.
Correct.
Conditioning.
Correct.
And the Dharma is the unborn, the unconditioned. So there's no link from there to there. The only way to know it is realization. You realize, then that is the one I have to be. But you cannot, like I read from Lompo Sumedro, he says you cannot do a PhD on Nirvana. There's no such thing. You can never get it because you cannot think about it. Nirvana doesn't need thinking. All these sankhara is thinking. So the moment when you don't have thing, then you realize. If you don't realize, you will still be suffering. If you think you're the person who's born, do this, do that, you're finished. But if you realize that you're not a person, you're non-self, then you are on the way. That's my comment. Yeah.
Okay. So the point is like this, okay? Before we go to that stage of non-self, you get what I mean? We are all at the self, because we are inquiring. That's why the Buddha teach Kalama Sutta also, free inquiry. Ask and ask and ask until you find out for yourself. And then you find out for yourself, if it's good, you practice. If it's good for you, you adopt. Correct or not? But the thing he did say, you know, ask questions. Ask. Don't sit down and just do what you want. Right? Inquiry. Ask. Why this is so important? Because asking enables you to discover. The moment you discover already, right? You got the answer. Oh, enough. You know what to do already. You may not even need to study anymore. But until before the time comes, you keep on asking. Another example, Chola Pantaka, idiot. The story of the idiot. You all know the story of idiot, right? Don't know anything one. The Buddha teach the monk. He asked other monks teach him how to do chanting. Before he end of halfway, end the chanting sentence, he forget already. Like Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato, right? Namo Tassa forget already. Don't continue, forget already. He cannot remember. Even short sentences also cannot remember. Chola Pantaka, okay? Then the monks complain to Buddha, the guy so stupid, cannot learn anything, no point teaching him, ask him go become layman, you know. Then Buddha said, keep quiet. When he see Chola Pantaka, then he look at Chola Pantaka, yeah, idiot quite stupid . So instead of teaching Dharma to him, he asked him to do one thing only. Take a cloth and wipe his bowl. While wiping, say this, wipe away dirt, take away dust. Can or not? Very simple, no need to remember Dharma one. This one I do every day. Okay, just do, but just focus. Wipe away dirt, take away dust. Wipe away dirt, take away dust. Focus, focus, focus. And that's all he say, you know. So one day, he keep on doing for probably days. Then he turned around, he saw his face on the monk, the bowl. So clean and shiny, you know, you see the face, you know. At that moment, then he see the cloth from white become black, dirt. Oh, he become enlightened. Arahant. And what happened? He go back to all the monks and teach them Dharma. As an Arahant, you know. All the monks were shocked. Before we are enlightened or have become awakened, we have to search and find out. What I'm saying is like this. Then meditate. Okay? So what happened is like this. Learning, as I said just now, is linear. Okay? But if we are stuck in that again and again, and then after that we don't know, and they keep on practicing, then we get stuck. What you do? Don't tell me you want to do this whole life, and then after when you die, they say, I think I don't know. All my life I learned, never get enlightened. Now, end already, what to do? Have good thought, make sure I just get rebirth. Fine, you can do that. But what I'm saying, you got this opportunity now to learn. Because the moment you learn, and the condition is right, and you can make the right connection, probably you can get a breakthrough. I don't know. But once the breakthrough comes, only you know. Correct or not? Only you know. So we are giving you a tool to search for the breakthrough. We don't want a big enlightenment. We want small awakening. Enough. You get this cloth here. You take out the cloth, right? You cannot tear the cloth. Very hard to tear. But you keep on poking. Try to poke in the middle of the cloth. Let's say keep on exerting pressure at one point. Poke until it get a little bit of hole, you know. Little bit, enough. Because from that hole, you can tear the whole piece apart already. Awakening is like that. You need a small opportunity only. Before you arrive at that opportunity, you must search. You must discover. Ask questions. Okay? Challenge. Debate. That's what the Nalanda tradition said. We forgot how to do this already. So this Nobu is not just a robot for you to have fun. If you do it very well, he can be your Kalyana Mitta. Seriously, a Kalyana Mitta that is knowledgeable with deep Dharma. Okay? And once you use it well, I don't know what will happen to you. I don't know. Okay? And maybe once you have a good understanding, then you can engage with the monks or nuns. And then you grow from there. Rather than we get stuck here now. Right? So this is an opportunity. I'm not saying it's magic, you know. Yeah. Okay? Just try it. Try it.